Hello my friends, this is FC7 and today I'm going to share a solo spot, a Necromancer solo spot at level 110. This is Stratos, the first zone in the new expansion, the Burning Lands. So it's kind of a solo spot. You will need your mercenary with you, and I suggest having a healer mercenary if you're a necro at all times. Unless you group a lot, then you really don't need one. And I will show you where to run to. I was checking out possible solo spots all of yesterday, so let's pull up the map here. There's actually 3 decent spots, but I will show you the best one in the zone. And this won't be for experience. You won't be solo in this zone for experience, because the experience is kind of terrible. So it's this spot right here, and there's about 5 or 6 mobs on this small island. And what you're going to be doing is root rotting these with your healer mercenary out. So here is the spot, that island right there. So in this expansion, it seems they made some adjustments to the ability to solo, so I will show you the counters to that. But first of all, here's my spell setup. So I recommend, because of the great debuffing nerf of 2018, to just replace all your magic-based spells. I used a corruption one and then another fire dot, but it's up to you whether you want to gamble or not. And then I have a rune spell up for this, because there is a chance that you could get summoned. One of the new mechanics they have is that they summon, like a mix of them summon sometimes, but they do it at like under 10%. So that was pretty tricky of the devs to do. So because of that, I have an invulnerability spell in one of my spell gems, and we'll just have the healer mercenary up here. You'll want your healer mercenary out because of the tricky new mechanic about summoning under 10%. Plus, some of these mobs, they cast a pretty wicked dot that will do a lot of damage, even if you are at max dot shielding. And I recommend, because some of these are spellcasters, to get out Gift of the Grave and have that on, because as you can see, it absorbs some kind of some portion of this incoming spell damage. So now that that's set up, we'll find our first mob, and there should be a roamer on the island, and pick him out first. And of course, debuff the mob. And that's the item I use to debuff. And then of course, Scent of Terrors after that. And then start your spell rotation. So, what else about this island? There are 2 types of mobs. One is called the Ondine Wavefront, and the other is a Surgeon Tide. And like I said, this won't be about experience. You won't be doing this for experience, you'll be doing this for an item, and it's called the Primordial Dynastic Radiance. And I guess it's used for the new trade skilling and a few other things in this expansion. So here we are, continuing to cast some dots on this first mob. And I've been trying to do some research on other items that might drop from these random mobs. I think there is chase loot in this expansion. There's new chase loot that evolves or something. So that's something to look out for too if you're doing this. Maybe some more augmentations, some random augmentations that drop. But this is mostly to make platinum right now, because you'll want to get these Primordial Dynastic Radiances, and I think right now in the Bazaar, at least on Tunar, they're selling for about 100,000, 150,000. So we'll just get this guy defeated, and this is the point where I usually cast my invulnerability because there's a possibility that he might summon you. This time he didn't, so we'll move on to the next one. Let's see if I can link. Yeah, this is the item that sells for a lot of money. So far I have 5 of them just from doing this for a couple hours yesterday. So I decided to do a little bit of an edit here because you really don't need to see a lot of the mobs root routed in the same manner as the first one. It's all pretty straightforward, but what I want to show is one of the caster mobs. But first I'll show you that you can also have these collectibles drop. So if you're into somebody who likes collectibles, or you can sell these too in the bazaar. So this is another reason to come here. Get those collectibles. On this island, a lot of the butterfly models seem to drop. So, okay, now on to the caster mobs, and these are a little bit trickier than the tides because these are spellcasters, and they seem to have unresistible spells, so they can really get some nasty dots on you. And they can also mez, so be aware of that. And I think this particular mob is one that will mez me during this fight, so I'll show you that. That's another reason why you need your healer mercenary out. It's funny because when they mez you, you start like meleeing your healer mercenary. And remember, never tap the mob with life tap because it'll break root. But if you're watching this as a level 110 necro, you know that probably, hopefully. Never break root when you're root rotting. So we'll just cast some more dots on this mob. And these do have a whole lot of hit points. I'd say probably more hit points than the mobs in Zephyr's tomb. Oh, and the knockback, I almost forgot to mention that. A lot of these mobs will try to knock you back with a certain spell, and you can be knocked right off the island. So try to position yourself so that you're not close to the edge, or else you'll be knocked right over the ledge. And luckily they don't summon. Well, they mostly don't summon, but you won't get summoned back up if you fall off. You'll have to run all the way back up to the island. So we'll just continue to put some dots on this mob. And I believe she'll mez me pretty soon. And sometimes these mobs, they change shape so that they mimic you or a mercenary. But I think most of the spells are for melee. They really don't affect casters. Now there's mobs on a different island that will affect casters because they'll reflect, so maybe I'll do a video on the other 2 spots in the zone where you can solo, but I won't be doing that today. This seems like the safest spot. Most of these small little islands are packed. Oh, there I am. So she just mezzed me, and now I'm trying to melee my my mercenary. And be aware, if they have you mezzed, they'll start regenerating health, but it won't be a lot. It'll be like 15%. So then just keep your dots up. The casters on this island are easier than the other 2 solo spots I found, because the other mobs in the other solo spots, they summon swarm pets and they attack you, and they're actually pretty strong. I have to feign death a lot when I face those. This island doesn't have those kind of mobs though. This is a lot easier. I also have a way to block that too, or a way to work around that. It's another reason to have invulnerability up. But luckily in this spot you don't have to worry about swarms. Okay, so now that mob is defeated, work our way to the next one. Be this guy. And the Surging Tides are the easiest mobs on this island to defeat. And they also drop the Radiance, so hopefully when you get up here, you just have to defeat a lot of these tides. There can be a mix of a combination of the two types of mobs up on this island. So just keep dotting. So other things about this spot. Of course you'll need to cast Pestilent Paralysis as your root. Use Encroach in Darkness as your snare right after you root these guys. Then debuff as best you can after we were nerfed so bad this year. And then start your dot rotation. Keep an eye out for sometimes the mobs, the root breaks on them. I don't know if it's some kind of self-spell that they use, but it happens in maybe 1 in every 25 mobs I found. I don't know what they cast. So just hopefully you have your Pestilent Paralysis at max so that it counts down quicker. So just keep dotting this guy, and if you get this down, you can have the entire island cleared and just keep like doing a circle and hope for a pretty nice drop. I think I made probably 500,000 or 600,000 in the few hours I've been doing this. Not gold, platinum. Not gold in this expansion. Okay, so there's collectible, and it looks like I don't think I have this one yet. Turns out I might complete this achievement, which I did. That's another 12 AA points. That's another thing I have to do yet. I have to make a video about Necromancer AA points in the Burning Lands. I'm almost at 35,000 right now. I'll put it into my next Swift dot. So that'll go up 2%. Alright, well that should just about do it for this video. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a great day.